What do you say, everybody, as we come to you live from Vegas, or maybe by the time you're watching it, it's not live. It's time for Elephant in the Room. We're going to talk a little bit of Bama football and a lot of NCAA tournament. We got Kenny White with us, our man out here in the desert, and we got Coker. And Kenny, I know this is your first time on Elephant in the Room, part of Cover Crimson. So let me introduce you with Coker's Open. And this, I'm telling you, this is some hard-hitting stuff right here. All right, I know you're pumped up now.
Hey,
What's
Kenny,
up, Kenny?
the last time I asked him if the show was live, like during the middle of the show, I mean, this guy lost his shit. You'd have thought the world was going to come to an end. So I'm giving you a pass without giving you a pass there, Gillispie.
I said if you're watching it live. I know that it's not live for them, but I'm just saying if they're watching it live. And I guess it's impossible.
He was about to have a Bill O'Reilly moment.
He was. Clint changed the backgrounds. Clint, you changed the backgrounds, man. Now I can't. I'm trying to get the show. Look at it. Look at this. Oh, man. Anyway, well, it's good to see you guys. Kenny's obviously got the Kenny White power ratings. And it was like sitting here talking to Kenny. No, we've had Kenny on the Tailgate Show for years, but to actually see this guy in person, he really exists. Coker thought you might be AI.
Yeah, I wish I was AI sometimes, but hey, pleasure to be here with you guys. It's been so much fun over the years and so much success with Bama and the sport. It's just incredible. I love it. I've been a big Bama fan forever. So when you reached out to me, it was like, do I want to be involved? Yes, I want to be involved. That's for sure. Because I can make a case for Bama any day.
Yeah, right. Well, we appreciate it. Talking football. They had the pro day today. They had the pro day. Did you catch any of that, Jake? And you know, what do you remember about those pro day days?
No, I caught it. I mean, I didn't catch any. I saw where Jalen ran a 4.35, something just insane. I tell you, I think he's going to have the pro day, the combine, all that stuff. I feel like people are really going to fall in love with his measurables. And I mean, he can only help himself through all this. You know, a lot of teams, I think, they go in with a certain perspective on players, and then once they get there and they run really fast in the 40, I doubt he did the bench press, but you know, all his measurables are going to be better than any other quarterback in the draft, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, 4.37 40.
Yeah, I mean that's incredible. That's ridiculous.
Now you said that shit's ridiculous. Is that like pretty close to what you did?
Yeah, you know, it was.
You tell people you have speed.
Yeah, it wasn't quite a 4.3, but it was close. I guess, yeah. You know, nobody remembers 10 years ago, so yeah, I think it was pretty close.
It was pretty close to that. Speed racer. Well, he's not the only one that was there. CJ Dupree, Robbie Oots, you know, they did it. And that's pretty cool, you know. And he was throwing passes. Jam Miller came out and helped him. Jeremy Bernard came out and helped him. Ryan Williams. You know, so you don't have to, you know, players can just show up. Even Isaiah Horton came out and caught some passes. So that's pretty cool. But Milroe met with the Steelers. You know, they need a quarterback. It's going to be interesting when you talk about Jalen Milroe. And I can even ask you about this, Kenny, being out here and covering the draft. I have no idea where the guy's going to end up.
I have no idea. I haven't looked at it, but Jalen Milroe is one of my favorite quarterbacks in the country, and I bet him last year to win the Heisman. And I think if I can remember, I can't remember yesterday, but it seemed like he stopped using his legs as much to win games, and he started to become a little bit more of a pocket passer, I guess, middle of the season to later in the season, which is a good thing for him. I mean, you know, you're going to have to be able to use your arm and your legs to be a professional quarterback now. It used to be we just want guys that are pocket passers, but that's not the case anymore. You got the read options, and We've seen a lot of quarterbacks be so successful. I know one, Hurts with the Eagles that, he's, won a Super Bowl now, and you see Mahomes, what he's done with that mobility. So you've got to be very mobile to be a quarterback in the NFL these days.
Yeah, I agree. The only thing about it, I mean, look, coaches try to keep guys in the pocket and, a lot of times, but when you run a 4-3-7, 4-3-5, I mean, I don't care how good you are in the pocket. That's a weapon that most people can't compete with. You can't defend that. I mean, at times you can, but running the ball is a safe option when you're as athletic as he is. I mean, and I'm coaching him. Hey man, if you got any daylight, you take it. You take it, because I mean the best games we saw him play. I mean, while I thought, again, I think his first year starting, I thought he was really coming along and becoming a better passer. I thought this year he didn't progress as much as he did last year. I think a lot of that had to do with just getting gutted in the transfer portal, having to, bring in a lot of new guys, new faces, and just trying to get on the same page with people or with the personnel, as well as learning a new system. But a lot of the best games we saw him play are where if he didn't see an opening, I mean, he was running the ball, being physical. LSU last year was an all-time quarterback performance from him. I'll never forget that game. And he just played with reckless abandon, ran the ball a lot, and especially when we needed to, made the throws. I mean, he's got a lot of potential. I don't think he didn't make it to his ceiling last year, that's for sure. But again, I think he's a talented guy. He just needs to be in a place where the coaches want him, believe in him, and really put all their efforts into him succeeding.
Well, you got to have the right system too. I mean, you look at Lamar Jackson and what Baltimore's been able to do with him. I would say a similar skill set. Lamar's definitely more shifty when it comes to running, not quite as big and strong, but faster probably, or maybe just as fast with the cutting ability. And then Jalen, I think Jalen Milroe has a better deep arm but look, Lamar Jackson's an MVP. He's won it a couple times, and he almost won it again this year. So you can do something with these guys, and that's probably why the Steelers are looking at him, Kenny.
Oh, I'm sure a lot of NFL teams are looking at him. When you got the size, the 6'2", 235, and be able to run with that type of speed at that size, there's not a lot of people on this planet that can do that and what Jalen Milroe can do. So I think a lot of people are probably looking at his accuracy. Is he going to be accurate enough for the NFL? But you know what? With experience, him get more accurate at Alabama over the years, and he'll do the same thing in the NFL. And I think he's going to be just fine. It may take him a year or two. I don't think he's going to be a starter right away in the NFL, but I think you'll see him maybe in year two as a guy that's going to be, moving a team forward.
Where do you guys think he'll get drafted? Like what round? I guess that's the last question.
By the end of the year, I was thinking, again, it's a weird situation for me because he's not a finished product, in my opinion. He's got, a lot of talent, possibly the highest ceiling to me of really anybody else. Now, that ceiling could be very hard to get to. Don't get me wrong. In the NFL, we're really going to see when he makes that next step. The NFL is not too keen on, spending a whole lot of time on guys. You've seen first round draft picks that last 1 year, year and a half. So we'll see. But, initially I'm thinking 4th to 6th. I think his measurables and what he does physically at the pro days and the combine, I think get him up to that. I've been hearing up to middle of 2nd round, but I think he's going to go 3rd, 4th, like a Dak Prescott or a Jalen Hurts.
Interesting. What about you, Kenny? What you thinking here?
I haven't really put a lot of time into it, and I do bet the draft. I think it's one a really good betting event when you study it. because it's kind of opposite. I'm an under better, but when I get at the draft, I bet over because there's always that one or two sleepers that jump in that people aren't projecting to be drafted 8th, 9th, 10th. The team's really got a good feel for. So I do follow it closely when it gets a little bit closer. About 2 weeks before the draft, I start to study it. But I'm guessing Milroe is second round material right now.
Wow, that'd be great. I'm sure he'd take that second round. But he could slide up into the first round, guys. I'm telling you right now, it's just the position. You know, we've seen the great Milroe, obviously against Georgia last year. And then we've seen the bad Milroe against Oklahoma and Michigan. You know, we'll see what happens. But it depends on need, too. It's a position of need. There's not a lot of guys out there that can do it. When the guy's running the 40-yard dash and speeds like that, those are the 4.37 40, right? That's pretty impressive. Like so, and then you throw a couple deep passes like on a dime. They're like, hey, we'll take this guy. We'll take a risk.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny just admitted what he's doing. He's getting that projection low so he can take the over.
Hey, guys, let me remind you a couple things as you hang out with us. First off, $25 right now off the annual subscription, Cover Crimson. We're in the message board constantly. I'm going to be messaging you guys from out here in Vegas, watching the games. I might even let you see some of my bet tickets, see what's going on out here. Maybe I'll let you see the Bloody Mary I'm going to drink when I'm watching Emma play at 9:40 on Friday, Jake, while you're in there in the office. While you're in the office grinding it out, Kenny and I are going to be here tipping back Bloody Marys and watching basketball. And then at night, we're going to see Dead and Company. So that's going to be this is going to be a hell of a stay out here. But listen, I'm going to try to document all that on Cover Crimson. Now, the other thing I want to tell you guys is this. You can't get out to Vegas. MyBookie.ag's got you covered. And right now we got our best deal of the year. And I'm going to talk about where we're at right now here in a second because it's such a cool spot. But 50% off or 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000 plus a $10 casino chip when you use that code Crimson at mybookie.ag. So again, that's 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000 plus a $10 casino chip when using the code Crimson at mybookie.ag. And you can do March Madness on there. But we're out here at March Madness headquarters. And Kenny, this is such a cool South Point hotel and casino, man. What a great place.
It really is. This is the tip of the strip, south end of the strip, and it is an outstanding casino, always busy. Mr. Gunn, who owns this, his family has been in the casino industry forever. They are in the customer service business. They have everything here: movie theaters, great restaurants, bowling alley. They got the bars everywhere. Mix it. We'll take care of you with that Bloody Mary. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And then we have the studio, South Point Studio here. So Sports by the Book, and that's why I'm here. I do the Sports by the Book show. It is a Monday through Friday show. We will have some telecast Saturday and Sunday this week for the college basketball. So tune in, Sports by the Book, if you want to hear about sports betting on the college tournament.
Hey, there you go, guys. Well, this is fun. All right, let's get back into the action here. And I want to start with this matchup. Robert Morris against Alabama. Morris is a 15 seed. Bama's a 2 seed. The Colonials are 26-8. Bama's 25-8. It's a 23.5 point spread. Kenny, I'm gonna let Coker feels like he's a pro, so I'm gonna let him go first, and then slide you in. What you got here, Coke?
Not with this basketball team right now. I love them to death, but I did my Saturday basketball ritual this past Saturday. Went out back, did invite a friend. We watched the game, drank a couple beers, and by midway through the second half, we were like, "Man, this is kind of tough. Almost, it's a little embarrassing." And I love that team. I love the guys, but it just felt like we were getting physically dominated, mentally, physically, everything. And it worries me watching us without Grant Nelson. Grant, we've been saying it for the last 2 years, really since last year's tournament, when he plays with fire and passion, man, that whole team just ignites and they come together and play really good basketball. When he's dunking on people, when he's playing defense, when he's doing the Crimson Crane, I mean, it gets the tempo right for us, and we seem to play really well, start hitting shots, and I'm nervous without him being around. Now, having said that, it's a decent-sized line. Grant Nelson's out. I imagine, I don't know, Kenny, you can tell me, the public, I imagine, is probably not too big on Alabama right now, so I'll probably take Alabama in this one.
Yeah, I don't know. There's been a lot of people that have been questioning Bama toward late in the season. They went 3-4 down the stretch after a 21-3 start. I think Grant Nelson, you hit it on the head. That is a major part of this basketball team. He's worth 5 points to the betting line. Obviously, they're not going to need him against Robert Morris, but they will need him in the next couple of rounds. Meeting up with St. Mary's, that's going to be a tough battle. And I think either BYU or Wisconsin, and then they have to have him versus Duke. There's no, they're going to be an underdog if he does play. If he doesn't play, they could be an 8-point underdog in that spot against the Blue Devils. So health, when you're one of your best players, it's very important this time of year. So we hope he's back. I hope he's back. I'm one of my brackets. If he's in the lineup and he's healthy, I think they can make the Final Four. If Grant Nelson's not healthy and he's not playing, I think they could get knocked out by St. Mary's.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I tell you what, I talked so much shit after Auburn got beat by Yale last year. We may have to end the podcast if we lose to Robert Morris in the first round.
Don't even try that. Can you imagine? It'd be terrible. Was Auburn a 15 and they lost to a 2?
I believe. Yeah, Auburn was a 2 and lost to a 15, I believe.
Yeah, I mean I got it backwards, but oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, actually, I was talking shit about that 2 weeks ago. Actually, a lot of text threads.
You have said it on here a bunch of times.
Oh yeah.
And Kenny, when he does his projections, he calls it the revenge factor. But you got the revenge factor, but you also have the shit talk factor too. And that's something that happens.
Yeah, it's a real problem for me. It's a real problem for me.
I know. Me too, but I didn't talk. I wasn't on Auburn for losing that game to Yale a whole lot. I was more on them for the the gravedigger. Although I got to tell you, I did love the buzzer beater in overtime on senior day there.
Yeah, those two. I mean, gravedigger, you'll never be able to beat that. The buzzer beater, that's number 2 for me. But that's
Kenny's gonna say, after this, he's gonna say load up on Robert Morris, who, by the way, I've been calling Philip Morris. He talked about just blatant disrespect. I know some people. I'm knocking on what it almost looks like a craps table. It's almost like wood. Here's what
it's a blackjack table.
It's a blackjack table. See,
gigantic blackjack table.
Yeah, which they use as a studio here. Coker loves blackjack. I've seen him lose money fast on the blackjack. You talk about a guy that just drops chips and they just like he puts the chips down, and that's what funds these places.
Yeah. Hey, drinking and gambling don't mix. That's why the drinks are free.
Yeah.
Or blackjack with our boy Wes.
Yes, I was gonna say. He's coming out here too. We're gonna have Wes in the house. Vegas they're gonna keep the lights on for a while.
Yeah. When our listeners show up, the problem is they're all bad influences, much like ourselves. So listeners show up, it's gonna be a good time, but your wallet may be empty.
It might be. So, all right, guys. So we got to say Bama gets by a Robert Morris, a really talented, good shooting Robert Morris team. Then it's St. Mary's and Vanderbilt. Jake, who do you have in this one? And do you have Bama advancing?
Yeah, I got Bama advancing. I think it's going to be a 10, 12-point game. I don't think we come in hot. I think we kind of play slow and get it done, but I don't think we play a game that is just absolutely dominant from start to finish. Vandy St. Mary's. I've watched a little bit of Vandy this year. I haven't watched any of St. Mary's. Isn't it Patino's at St. Mary's, isn't he?
No,
he's at St. John's. See,
St. John. Different Saint.
That's the only thing about the tournament. I've watched the SEC teams, and that's about it.
Yeah, me too. And I asked Kenny on another show we did about the validity of the SEC getting 14 teams, and he's pretty confident, aren't you, Kenny, that this conference is going to hold up?
It's the best conference in college basketball. So, yeah, I do. I think it definitely holds up. There's so much talent, and they continue to get more and more talent every year with NIL because there's money to be spent, and the SEC is doing it right. They're taking care of these kids, so they're willing to come play there. And the numbers, my power ratings, I've never had teams rated as high this year as I have them now. The top 5 teams in the country, and that includes 3 SEC teams, Alabama, Auburn, and Florida, are all better than the last 2 national championship teams that Connecticut put on the floor. All 5 are better than Connecticut.
But that Connecticut team knows how to get it done.
They did, but these teams are better.
You're saying they have more talent. I believe that.
More talent on these 5 teams.
Yep. So you got Bama playing St. Mary's, winning St. Mary's, and then going on?
I do. And, St. Mary's is going to be a really tough contest because St. Mary's is going to do things that Bama doesn't like. They're going to make Bama uncomfortable. They're going to slow that thing down into a half-court style basketball game, and that's, Bama wants to run. They want to get up and down, and Randy Bennett, the head coach of St. Mary's, he's one of the best in the country. He's a great recruiter. He goes international. He brings a lot of international kids into that program. This is the best team he's ever had. They are a top 10 defense. And again, possessions will be at a premium. That I think will make Bama uncomfortable. I think they're going to need Grant Nelson for that game to win that basketball game. If he doesn't play, really feel like it's a coin toss game.
Wow. How about that? How about this? Mark Sears became the second ever Bama AP All-American, Brandon Miller the first, and congratulations to him. Final thoughts, Jake, about the basketball games taking place this weekend, and then obviously the contribution that we've gotten from Sears.
Hey, it's the best postseason in college there is. There's nothing better than March Madness. So can't wait I'll have it going in the office tomorrow. Looking forward to watching it all. Alabama, I'm with Kenny. I feel really good about us being in the Sweet 16 if Grant Nelson plays Sunday. After that, I'm not real sure. It depends on which Alabama team shows up. But Alabama, hope we make it to the Sweet 16. Hopefully further than that. SEC, we got to prove ourselves and show everybody we're the best conference in the country.
Yeah, no doubt. Want to tell you guys again that if you can't get out here to Vegas, mybookie.ag, 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000 plus a $10 casino chip when using the code Crimson. mybookie.ag, and they bring you our show each and every week. Kenny, tell everybody about the power ratings, how they can catch up with you as they, and maybe Coker too. He can write some notes down in case he needs a little help on not the Bama game, but some of these other games that are out there.
Well, thanks, Mick, and always a pleasure to be with you guys. KennyWhiteSports.com. I named it that so it's easy for me to find it, but it's easy to get there. KennyWhiteSports.com is home of the power ratings. I've made the betting line for 30 years, and now I'm on the other side of the counter betting against that line, and I've done it the same way with a foundation of a strong power rating for each individual player to come up with a team rating. I give you those team ratings. I adjust them every day after every game. I give you the projected final scores of every game before they've been played, so you can compare that to the betting line in the sports books and make your bets. And it is, I think, for $25 a month, the most valuable piece of information you could possibly have if you're betting sports every day.
And we had a great time out here. And we'll be out here tomorrow and the next day. And the next day, Jake, you and I will have to do another one of these after Friday. Let's do it Saturday.
How many shows are you going to? They play like 3 days in a row?
Yeah. You don't go to one. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. You talk about, look, the thing about it is this, is that I work hard, right? I've been here, literally got off the plane. I've already pounded 2 shows out, may do another one. You work hard and then you play hard. Have you ever heard that before? Did they say that over in Mobile?
Yeah, I thought you were going to say you pounded out about 4 beers already.
No, I tried to get one. And Kenny told me there was a waitress. We didn't ever have a waitress. He's like, he asked me if I wanted sushi. I said, how about Modelo?
Yeah, let me get that Modelo roll.
I need one with the lime. All right, guys. Hey, this was fun. And you guys get in the comment section. Tell us what you think. Ask us a question. We appreciate it. Again, mybookie.ag. And we're going to be on covercrimson.com. $25 off right now, the annual. Talking about this Vegas trip. Talking about Bama. Is the curse of Coker going to cut down the tide in this 2 versus 15? I don't know. But we'll find out here. And we appreciate you guys being in there. So thank you guys. This was fun, and roll tide, everybody.